Hello everyone, I'm Animesh Pradhan. I've secured All India Rank 2 in UPSC Civil Services Examination 2023, and through this video and platform I'd like to share my overall strategy that I had used for this examination. A disclaimer before that, my strategy might not suit you and might not suit everybody. But the essence of top of videos had always been not to blindly follow anyone's approach, but take some bits of it that could help you and strategize your preparation in a way that could suit to your personal and professional needs. So if I would be able to help anybody through this, that would mean a lot. A bit of background, this was my first attempt and sociology was my optional. I was a working aspirant. I am still working with Indian Oil Corporation, and I was posted in Delhi, and entire preparation I had done while working. I had not taken any extended leaves while preparing as well. So I had started my preparation full-fledgedly from February to 2022, and prelims was in May 2023. So I had around 1 year, 4 months, 1 year, 5 months at my hand before the prelims came. And it becomes really difficult to categorize at whether you are reading for mains or reading for prelims. But I had done my preparation in an integrated way. But obviously it's an exam, so I had to strategize in a way keeping in mind what kind of content I am reading and what kind of content I am making from those content would suit the demands of either prelims or mains. From February to May 2023, I had done exclusive prelims preparation, forgetting that mains or optional exist in the world. But before that, I had an integrated approach towards this exam, but obviously differing in the strategies that I have to differ in prelims and mains. So from February 2022 to January 2023, it was an integrated approach. I had 3 slots while I was preparing, 3 slots in mind. One was for the standard books that I used to study. One was for my optional sociology, and one was I was following a weekly current affairs magazine from which I made my mains notes topic wise. So I was thorough with the syllabus, and my idea was that I'll have to make notes in a way from mains perspective which I would be able to replicate in the exams as well. So all my notes were very 1-pager or 2-pager notes which were curtailed to how the mains exams answer copies would look like. That for example, there's a topic on renewable energy, and I came across that in the weekly current affairs magazine. So I'd make up my notes in a way that I start off with 2-3 data points. I mention the status of renewable energy in India, just the points like what gigawatt of power we have in across the renewable energy sector. I'll have a map or a pie chart or whatever at the side. I'll have the issues related to that, the government initiatives, international initiatives, any committee recommendation, any Supreme Court judgment about that. So all these value addition material, facts, figures, examples, use cases were there in my notes, in a way that I would just replicate that if anything comes up with renewable energy in my exams, and not just I keep on writing about what is renewable energy, how India can help, not in a way that I'll not make it a notes per se, but an question answer format is something that I was more interested in while I was making mains notes topic wise from the weekly magazine that I was referring to. Secondly, from that same weekly PDF, from week 1 from February had started appearing half-length mains test from February itself every Sunday. So throughout 11 months from February to December, I would have written around 48 to 50 half-length tests every Sunday in a consistent and disciplined way. And the content that I was subjected to as questions was from those weekly PDF only. So a lot of people say that we have to do mains answer writing, we'll have to make mains notes, have to read mains content and give tests. But these are literally the same thing. You'll have to give a right answer or give test for mains. So for me, it was reading the weekly current affairs and making mains notes out of it topic wise, and writing test on the same content, which was my answer writing practice. So I think this is the most strategic way how you could deal with the entire answer writing and everything that goes on, discussions goes around it. My second slot was obviously standard books. Everybody more or less reads the same, Lakshmikant or Spectrum and so on and so forth for the standard sources, which are very prelims heavy. And I used to continuously test myself after reading certain section of, let's say, Lakshmikant. I used to give this freely available MCQ tests available in the market or in the PDFs in the internet, and I just to score myself and check if I was on the right track or not. And the third slot of my Delhi schedule was with optional sociology, where I had extensively used last year topper copies notes and topper copies answer, and I used to make them as my base material and do my value addition from couple of test series that I came across later on. So this went on for 11 months till December, and in last December, January and mid-November, I sat down and saw that what topics I have left out from mains perspective that I do not have notes for. So I referred to a lot of previous year test series, a lot of previous year yearly compilations, and sat through them and made notes for the things that was not made from the weekly current affairs that I was reading for months. So for the remaining topics for mains, I did my notes till January, and then from February I switched to only prelims. I had my revisions from standard books done. I had started giving prelims test series from mid-February, and continued till mid-May. So this was my overall strategy where I tackled mains notes, answer writing, test series in an integrated way, as well as where my optional was also getting covered. For prelims, I think that the three most important things that's extremely comes handy is that you'll have to have a very strong hold on your statics, because current affairs, as you can see, if last couple of years questions, it's extremely random and everything under the sun could be a part of your question. The one thing that you'll have control over is your static. The second part is that do not leave any subject. There were always dialogues that leave medieval, leave ancient, but I think I would have done a lot of ancient questions right and a lot of polity questions wrong. And that was because everything is becoming so dynamic. You cannot rely only on Lakshmikant or only on Spectrum. So you'll have to diversify your stronger points and do not categorize as what your strength and weakness. Everything can be your strength if you put in efforts as well, but be smart about it as well. And the third most important thing becomes test series. Test series does not matter what is their level till UPSC. You can always criticize them that they're not what UPSC asks, but they're very important because that lets you to answer when you do not have an answer for a question. So I had given around 35 to 45 prelims tests during 4 months before my prelims, where I used to sit through my answers, module answers. I had to note down the new content that I was getting and used to revise that 3-4 times as well. So prelims preparation was control over static, revise current affairs, revise the test series model answers, and work on what I was making more repetitive mistakes on. So one more thing that I would like to also share about is, like, more than GS, probably CSAT has taken a front seat where it's becoming really a nightmare. For me, I come from an engineering background, so I had this overconfidence that I would be able to sail through. I had cleared the CSAT, but during the examination, it felt that I will not be able to, because I was not able to answer the maths question, which I had a lot of confidence in or overconfidence in. So 2 things for CSAT. First, do not keep a mental blockage that no matter what background you come from, you will have a look on everything, comprehension, reasoning and maths. And second thing, make you CSAT as important as your GSAT. If you have resources, enrolled in a paid course, take any free resources available in a structured way, but prepare it as properly and structured manner as you do for other GS content as well, because that's the major reason why the cutoff has come down to historically low to 75 point something this year. So this was my prelims approach. After prelims was done, as I said, my mains notes were more or less ready. What I did that during prelims and mains was first my essay. I relied extensively on past year topper copies, essay copies, ethics or GS copies, but extensively for essay, where the good parts of their essays are just to take a snapshot and compile them in one of my digital notes, and would revise them again and again. Any anecdotes, examples, good quotes, or introductions or conclusions. I would note that down from them, and I sat through also with the content that I had and how I could have a connecting statement between two paragraphs of my essays, how I could have a different figure of speech, could have better alliterations in my essays. So I sat through, although I had a knack for writing, but I sat through and understood that I can make my essays more engaging and more coherent. And during the time, although my mains notes were ready, I had enrolled in a test series. So I used to give tests. I had done 4 rounds of revision between prelims and mains. So I revised like the entire GS 1, 2, 3, 4 in my first iteration after prelims, maybe in 40 days, 45 days, and give tests of GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. Once I complete them, as I complete them, I have to give a test. Then after this exercise of 45 days, I'll again revise everything again and make, let's say, take 20 days, 21 days and give a test for GS1, 2, 3, 4 again. And then I'll do the next exercise in 10 days, and the 4th iteration was in literally 3 days, which was a simulated test, which I would give in a way that GS essay, then GS1, then GS2 in the same day, GS3 and GS4 in the next day. So this was my exercise in a 4 iteration revision for prelims to mains. And for optional, just after prelims, I had enrolled in a test series before prelims as well for sociology. After prelims, I had enrolled in another test series for sociology. But while I was transitioning and revising, I used to write at least 2 answers per day, so that there's a shift after prelims because you had not read your sociology or any optional for so long. So to break that momentum, I kept on writing 2 questions per day for 20-30 days, and then I started giving full-fledged test series, and that was 8 tests that I had given for especially sociology after prelims, but before prelims as well, in the month of October, November, after I was done with my self-made notes while revising. For revision, I had enrolled in a test series and I used to give tests for that as well. And during this time, what I had also with my consolidated notes, you get a lot of compilation of data, facts, figures, Supreme Court judgments, committee recommendations through various coaching institutions. Pick any one and enrich your already made notes with that. Ensure that you have data points, figures for every topic. You have Supreme Court judgments for most of the topics, articles, constitutional amendments, committee recommendations. I used to compile them, make crisper handwritten notes topic wise for all these value addition materials, so that I have internalized that in a way that those are on my fingertips and I could use them very organically in almost all of my answers. So that was also one of the things that I had focused on between prelims and mains. And after mains was over, I had given myself a break, and my interview was scheduled in the first week of the entire interview cycle as well. So I did not have a lot of time. But whatever time I had, I gave a lot of mocks at various institutes, and secondly, I sat down with my detailed application form and tried to make notes of every possible word that was there relevant in the DAF. And also it was a fun experience to just know more about yourself, more about your surroundings and things you are associated with. Interview was obviously one thing that I had enjoyed the most out of all these 3. And I am just extremely lucky and grateful that cumulatively all these hard work came into yielded something which was beyond my expectation. So this was my entire strategy from before prelims to before couple of months before prelims, what I did between prelims and mains, and how things were there after mains as well.